Many conspiracy theories are often rooted in anti-Semitism, racism, and harmful stereotypes. They are often motivated by the wish to undermine or do harm to particular ethnic groups. It's important to keep this in mind when discussing these conspiracies. Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm wondering, was Godzilla vs. Kong onto something and there actually is an entire other world with its own atmospheres found deep within the Earth's core?
Since I was a child, I've been naturally inquisitive, questioning anything and everything that didn't quite make sense. As I grew, I poured countless hours into a number of conspiracy theories. Some of these theories I believe and some of these theories I don't, but some of them I do. Here I'll be studying the evidence for and against all of history's mysteries, doing the work so you don't have to, but you really should do it on your own, like check sources and all that. Okay.
On today's episode, Hollow Earth. No, you're not looking at a deleted scene from the latest smash hit blockbuster Godzilla vs. Kong, but we are about to talk about Hollow Earth, so I can understand the confusion. In fact, the idea of a Hollow Earth has been around a lot longer than Godzilla or King Kong. So let's start by asking, what the heck is the Hollow Earth theory? Alright, so the Hollow Earth conspiracy theory is that the Earth is hollow. Pretty simple. Of course, there's the surface that we know and live on, but deep within the Earth, there is an inner world, or worlds. And the belief also suggests that there is at least one opening to the inner worlds out here on the surface. Most folks who subscribe to this theory believe that the opening is at the North Pole, but some people believe that there's a second opening located in the Himalayas. And while the unifying idea with Hollow Earthers is that the Earth is hollow, there seems to be a little bit of confusion as to what is inside. Some believe that there are entire cavern systems that run throughout the interior of the Hollow Earth, and some believe that the interior of the Hollow Earth looks a lot like it does up here, complete with its own atmospheres. Some believe that flying saucers and UFOs did not come from the stars above, but instead came from the Hollow Earth, sent up here by the highly evolved people that live down there, as a measure to spy on the world above and prevent nuclear war. Possibly unsurprisingly, a lot of people that believe in the Hollow Earth theory also believe that the moon, the sun, the stars, and other planets are hollow as well. Such a theory lies in religious lore as well, as ancient Greeks, Tibetan Buddhists, and Christians all located their version of hell deep beneath the Earth's mantle. Some ancient civilizations had myths about entire worlds existing underneath the ground. For example, Mexican legends that tell the tale of a mountain cave nearby Ojinaga, which is inhabited by devil-like creatures from, quote, the way down deeps. And of course, as with almost any conspiracy theory, Hitler and the Nazis are involved too. Though the Hollow Earth theory originated long before Adolf Hitler's rise to power, it has since been co-opted, with some believing that Hitler did not die in World War II, but instead escaped to the inner Earth, possibly with a group of Nazis. This is problematic for obvious reasons, though especially because most believers thought that the Hollow Earth is home to a, quote, superior human race, harkening back to Nazis' own language when they persecuted 6 million innocent people. And while some theorists claim that on satellite imagery sites such as Google Earth, evidence of holes leading to the center of the Earth has been digitally altered to hide this, others believe that the evidence is still very present for anyone who wants to see. In Godzilla vs. Kong, the inner worlds of the Earth are depicted as an entire ecosystem, complete with grass, different creatures, trees, water, mountains, clouds, etc. But the question here isn't, was Godzilla vs. Kong a great movie? The question I'm wondering is, was it more of a make-em-up fantasy like Harry Potter and the Rings, or was it more of an inspired by true events like The Social Network or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? That's right, look it up. Surprisingly, very real-world surface people have tried to find the entrance to the Hollow Earth, and many attempts have been made. One of the most famous Hollow Earth theorists was a man by the name of John Sims, a veteran of the 1812 Anglo-American War. He published a pamphlet in which he wrote, "I declare the Earth is hollow and habitable within, containing a number of solid concentric spheres, one within the other, and that is open at the poles, 12 or 16 degrees. He also declared that he was, quote, ready to explore the hollow. In March 1822, a senator presented the case for Sims to be supplied with the equipment for an expedition. Ultimately, the motion failed. Sims died in 1829 and was said to have maintained his belief until his death. After Sims' work, the mantle, wink, was taken up by Rodney M. Clough, author of World Top Secret, our Earth is hollow. In 1981, spurred on by evidence he claims to have found in, quote, scriptures, history, and science, he moved his wife and his 5 kids from their home in New Mexico to a new home in Alaska, believing that they would be closer to discovering the truth of the hollow Earth. But the wild part is he wasn't even the only person to move to Alaska with this idea. Clough found a small group of believers who embarked on a mission to find the entrance to the center of the Earth. They began on a road to Point Barrow, but abandoned the trek when they were met with a sign that read, "This is a private road. Don't go any further." In 2003, he would try again when he received an email from a Steve Curry who wanted to use his travel firm to plan a new trip with Clough. Set to take place from June to July 2007, the plan was to charter a Russian icebreaker ship and travel to the North Pole. There they would find the hollow Earth entrance and planned activities like, quote, a monorail trip to the city of Eden to visit the palace of the king of the inner world. Unfortunately, the trip was halted when Curry discovered that he had 6 inoperable brain tumors and died shortly before the trip could take place. After Curry's death, a Dr. Brooks Agnew would be assigned as leader of the expedition, though he would resign in 2013, claiming that a major stockholder in his company had withdrawn their money, citing Agnew's participation in this expedition as their reason. A little later, another member of the crew would die in a plane crash, leading Clough to wonder if mysterious powers were against the crew and their expedition. But as far-fetched as these explorers seem to us in the modern world, at one point, hollow Earth was a very well-respected and accepted scientific theory. 18th century astronomer Royal Edmond Halley, of Halley's Comet fame, believed that unusual compass readings could mean that the Earth was made up of a series of shells. He also posited that the space between each shell could contain luminous atmospheres that could theoretically support life. Modern believers of the theory simply look to accounts of those who claim to have visited the inner Earth. A Norwegian sailor named Olaf Janssen told about supposedly sailing through the entrance to the interior of the planet with his father in 1811. According to Janssen, the inner Earth contains the city of Eden and 12-foot-tall superhumans with the ability to never get sick. Karl Unger, a German sailor who supposedly was on the 1943 U-boat expedition to the South Pole, claimed to have entered the hollow Earth through an underwater passageway. The crew was then reportedly welcomed by an advanced civilization somewhere called Rainbow Island. Similarly, a U.S. Naval Admiral Richard Byrd kept a secret diary of an expedition to the North Pole in 1947, which reportedly contained descriptions of a land brimming with lakes, lush greenery, and even woolly mammoths. Now, while some of these theories could be fun to believe, notwithstanding any anti-Semitic Third Reich fever dreams, if modern science is to be believed, and it is, we know that the Earth is all but hollow. Of course, through modern geology, we know that the central point of the Earth is more than 6,000 kilometers down, and the outermost layer of the core is about 3,000 kilometers below the ground. By observing the effect of gravity on the planet's surface, scientists can estimate Earth's mass as something around 5.9 sextillion tons, with no evidence pointing to there being anything as heavy at the surface. According to Simon Redfern of the University of Cambridge, the density of the material at the Earth's surface is much lower than the average density of the whole Earth, so that tells us there's something much denser. Which of course might beg the question, if the Earth isn't filled with lush valleys, the city of Eden, and avatar-like people living in concert with King Kong and the Skullcrawlers, what's down there? Well, scientists agreed that most of the center of the Earth is made up of about 80% iron, though the exact measurements are debated. Earthquakes and seismology have helped scientists when estimating the size of the core. Shockwaves are sent throughout the planet during an earthquake, which are measured by seismologists via seismic stations located throughout the world. Seismologists figured out that some vibrations sent to these stations were missing. These were called S-waves and were expected to show up on the opposite side of the globe from where they originated, but they weren't. S-waves were found to only be able to reverberate through solid material, not through liquid. This led scientists to postulate that the waves were hitting something molten in the center of the Earth. Another type of wave, P-waves, could travel through the core and be detected on the other side of the world. A Danish seismologist in the 1930s named Inge Lehmann discovered this and came up with an explanation. The inner core of the Earth, located starting around 5,000 kilometers down, was actually solid, and only the outer core above was molten. Her theory would be confirmed in 1970 by more sensitive seismographs. Not to be a party pooper, But there's more than enough evidence to suggest that the center of the Earth is more than likely filled with rocks and lava rather than aliens and or woolly mammoths. So just in case, on the off chance that you were planning on uprooting your family and spending your entire life savings trying to find the hole to the way down deeps, maybe, and hear me out here, don't.